So what were we talking about? We were talking about just like the hacker stuff and like
The hacker stuff.
the hacker stuff, yeah. And I read this one recently today. It was, I don't know if this is old. I think I talked to you about it a little bit, but the people stealing money from Bitcoin ATM hack situation.
Yeah.
They never really said how much was stolen, but it's kind of a unique thing. Did you read on that at all?
Yeah, it was a flaw, I guess, right, from a couple years ago, and they just kind of remotely accessed the web interface and then set up an admin account.
Yeah, something like that. So like I guess these Bitcoin ATMs, they all have like a particular portal that allows the admin to control them globally. And these guys, they it's pretty crafty. They just did a scan on the IP range that is owned by the like hosting company, right? For I think it was port 7777 and 443 and maybe something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, they found the portal, they got in. They made themselves, like you said, an admin account, and their attack was pretty crafty. It's anytime somebody requested money from the ATM, um, I think, or sending, maybe. Did you read if it was just bringing
Yeah,
it in?
if they were buying Bitcoin, like the money would go into the attacker's wallet, like the actual, paper money that they were putting in the ATM would go into the wallet. And then,
Oh,
yeah,
I
if
get
they were
you.
sending it, could have gone in there too as well. But yeah, basically just siphoning off the top the the money coming into the ATM into their own crypto wallet.
Solid, man. Solid reroute.
Yeah.
But it makes me think. I'm like, how many? I've seen Bitcoin ATMs here and there. I don't know anybody that's ever like. I've never seen somebody using one.
I've never had a need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they have like 8,000 worldwide, don't they? This company?
Do they? That's a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah, with something crazy like that, you can buy up to like 40 different cryptos, and then I think they had 8,800 something ATMs in 120 different countries. So
That's a lot. I mean,
yeah, and I don't
eventually
know if all
it'll
of them were
stack up.
susceptible, but damn, dude. That's a lot.
I wonder, like, how much the article I read didn't give any insight on like total dollar figure potentially siphoned off.
Yeah, I've not found any information about that, but I would imagine it's a decent amount since it hit the papers, hit the news.
It has to be, right? I mean, somebody brought it up somewhere. I wonder, like, some guy saw an alert. He's like, boss, there's an extra Bitcoin address here. A lot of
Yeah.
money's been going there.
His heart just sinks. That would suck so bad.
That does suck. And it's so the company's I don't know about the company's defense, but they say they do, like pretty regular testing, security testing on these, and they didn't come across this, vulnerability. But
That's
the
yeah,
hackers
so that's
did.
the part that's hard to for me to imagine, right? To believe. For one, you're doing these audits, right? And you're not checking patch levels. Like what kind of vulnerability management system or like patch management do you have? Like if you if you're not detecting the fact that you have a 2-year-old version of crypto application server running on your ATMs, you know,
Something.
screams volumes, right? Like what else
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you shortcutting in your security posture? you know? So I'm sure there'll be more hacks coming out of this because if you can't just update your systems, then there's probably a whole slew of other issues within your environment. So
But they're not the only ones. We're working with some company recent-ish. I'm not gonna say how recent, but they said, one of our, servers, you know, it's in our DMZ, or I remember where it was exactly. I don't know if it was in the DMZ or not, but anyway, open the internet and we look at it, just investigating. I'm like, hey man, guys haven't updated this server since you spun it up like 3 years ago. This thing's
oh, I
like,
think it was even longer than that, wasn't it? It was like 2014.
I don't know. It was a really long time. I was just trying to see
Yeah,
like how do these hackers possibly get in? Let me see what vulnerabilities are here.
right.
Possibly. Let me look at the OS and like all the softwares that were in. Fortunately, there wasn't a lot of softwares installed on that, but it was like I think like a Linux based or CentOS or something, but it was like several versions outdated.
Yeah, the Linux distro was outdated. The software running on it was outdated. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was sitting in the
everything.
DMZ. It was fully internet facing.
Yeah, full out there, right? And kind of called the guys. I'm like, what was interesting to me is when I brought it to their attention, they didn't seem shocked for some reason.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think
oh, yeah.
most of them are, right? Like most, if you don't care about patch management, then it's not a, even if someone tells you things are outdated, they're like, yeah, I don't, why should I care? Like they don't understand how bad, it could be. So
They're like, if we update, it's gonna break everything. I'm like, well, you haven't updated and it's already breaking everything. So pick your battle,
I
man.
hate that argument when people say that, like, oh, if we update it, it'll break stuff. Like, well, why don't you duplicate it into a pre-production environment, test it out like an actual mature patch management program and see if it breaks.
Yeah, and then roll it out.
Yeah. I mean, I had a client, one of the worst clients, and you know who you are. And they
I
were
know who
arguing
this
with
is.
me because they didn't want to put at the very least antivirus on their Linux systems because it would be too much for the server to handle. And I was
That's
like, I told
true.
them flat out, I was like, if AV is too much for your server to handle, then you need to rethink how you've built your infrastructure, because that's an absurd statement to make, right? Like
Maybe,
at the very least, you can't run antivirus,
yeah, I mean,
right?
like the new modern next gen ones are really lightweight, man. They don't really hog processing, nothing, It's not
Well,
doing constant hash scanning.
yeah, and that's true. But the other part is like if your server, it's a server,
Yeah,
can't
it's a server.
handle antivirus, then your
Fair.
server is not robust enough to do
For sure,
anything
for sure.
useful, right? Like it's just insane to me. And that same client got popped 3 times in the same year by brute forcing SSH, and then a crypto miner was installed. A crypto
That's,
miner that was detected by ClamAV, right? Like one of the worst open source
oh gosh.
antivirus. Not one of the worst, but it's definitely not one of the premier antivirus engines out there. And just putting that in place would have detected these crypto miners. On top of the fact that we told them the first time to uh, not use username and password for SSH. But anyways,
Yeah, what are you gonna
you
do
know who
about it?
you are.
You know who you are.
You're bad.
But
You should feel bad about it. So
to keep the trend of breaching systems, so Starlink, I read this one too. This is cool. Did
I
you hear
saw
about this
this.
one? And this was at Black Hat. The researcher, I guess,
Oh, I
unveiled
thought you
it.
were talking about the satellites that got dropped in the sky. Everyone thought were
No,
UFOs. Oh, okay.
no, those satellites. That was because like some solar flare or something, right?
No,
It's
no,
like
just
short solar
last
flare that brought
Friday
them
here in the Pacific Northwest,
down.
Starlink dropped I don't know how many Starlink satellites, but they were dropped in a line. So it was going across the sky and the sun was hitting them just right at night.
Uh
So it
huh.
looked like a line of dots going across the sky here
Oh, how
in the Pacific
gnarly!
Northwest. And everyone was freaking out. It hit our news here. And our news was like, not aliens, Starlink at the bottom of the screen. I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, that's funny though. At least it happened on this side of town. Imagine like I don't know if I was like in a village in Africa or something, and I've never had access to the internet or wherever. Not necessarily Africa, Congo, jungle, wherever.
Yeah.
And I saw that at night, I'd probably be like, "Oh Lord,
Yeah.
the end is here."
Yeah, I just slacked the image to you. That was Friday here in Pacific Northwest. It's
Let
like
me
a
see.
line of lights.
Oh, that's crazy. Dang, I wonder how high that up. Like, how many Starlink satellites is that?
I thought it was like in the thousands, but I could be wrong.
It looks like a lot. That's insane.
So supposedly they're supposed to spread out over time. But yeah, like when they were first dropped, it just looked like Oh, it was 53. Oh, that was it. Look, I mean, it's crazy what it
That
looks
is
like in the
crazy.
picture. It's only 53.
That's crazy.
So
Maybe
maybe
because
the
they're
news
moving
article said
so
something about they're
fast.
hoping to have like 10,000 in the air or something, or 30,000.
That's insane, man. I mean, I know he launches them like tons at a time, like 50 at a time or something like that. Because
Yeah.
they're not super big, apparently.
Yeah, but it's causing like a bunch of debris, and so when we have to launch stuff now, we have to like track all of that.
These ones is like the last solar flare that went this way. I don't know about last one, a few because a bunch come all the time. But I think it knocked out about like 30 or 40 of them out, and they just crashed and burned kind of stuff into
Oh,
the
really?
yeah. But that's
It's
crazy
cool.
stuff.
I'm not a, as you know, I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but I'm definitely all about Starlink. I think it's pretty cool. Give the world the
Yeah,
internet.
for sure. I think the overall solution eventually, like I can envision it being this giant mesh around the world, just constantly like hovering and floating, giving everybody internet. That's pretty cool, man.
Yep, for sure. And then even during this Ukraine Russia conflict, Ukraine asked for help for communications stuff, and Musk was like, "Yep, got you." He like launched a bunch of
Which
satellites
is
over there to help.
insane. It's insane. It's just like these old like 1980s sci-fi movies. It's like a few clicks and it's like rerouting, you know?
Enhance.
Enhance. Enhance. But so this researcher, I guess he presented it at Black Hat recently too, where he's able to he built himself this custom like mod chip, right? And apparently it cost like around $25 off the shelf kind of parts, nothing crazy, printed like the chipset himself or whatever. I'm sure it's a little advanced. It doesn't mean like anybody can easily do it. But yeah, apparently it hacks like the terminals that sits on the user end side, and you can like I don't know inject code and random stuff into it. I don't know exactly what the point of it is, what
Sits
what the
on,
hack is gonna do.
what does it sit on?
So like the Starlink, like Starlink's in the space, right?
Oh, it
And
goes
then you
on the
have like
Starlink.
the receiving end that's on the user's side that's like pinging information back and forth, right?
I did read this. So he made this modification that allowed him to get in the Starlink network, right?
Is that, something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then they paid him a pretty decent amount for his bug bounty that he found.
But this guy, his name is Wooters. I don't know if that's his name. Allows Wooters. I don't know what Wooters is. Did you read that name? Wouters. I don't even know how to say that. Wooters. But it bypasses the security protections.
Yeah.
And this guy has, I guess he's going to publish it or he has published it on GitHub. And he's giving a full proof of concept like, this is how you do it kind of deal. So Starlink, hurry up, man, before everybody catches wind.
Yeah, what is, I'm trying to find his name right now.
Here, it just keeps saying Woders, Woders. It's such a hard name to pronounce.
um yeah. Yeah, Wouters. It's like routers but with a W.
Yeah, routers, but a
Wouters,
Wouters,
yeah. Wouters.
Wouters. I don't know.
He's got his tool and his slides up on Black Hat though.
Are they already up?
Yeah.
Oh, here, look. Published 6-page PDF explaining how it secures its systems. Hmm. Oh, Starlink published it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're happy about it. They were, well, they did it right. So, most companies don't really like when people disclose stuff to them, and even bug bounty companies, they go out of their way to like, oh, we've already got that, thanks, like, we've already got your submission, and then they don't want to pay, right? But
That's
and
shady.
maybe that's true, I don't know, but in this case, Starlink was like, yeah, this is great, thanks for the information, and they want to, they gave out all the information about it, and then they now are telling people like, yeah, hack us, we'll give you, $25,000 or whatever. Like, they're definitely welcoming anybody that wants to do the research and everything, so, which is good, especially if you're deploying Starlink around the world. And It's going to be used in military conflicts. I'm sure you've got nation states coming after it. So
for sure. But here, this is funny. Look, so the Starlink, like the chipset that's on it, I guess the engineers had printed on the chip and said "made on Earth by humans." And then this mod chip, they wrote on that one too, and they wrote "glitched on Earth by humans."
nice.
Nice, well done, well done, Wooters. But I don't know what else. What else is what's happening in the hack
Um,
nation?
I read this pretty cool article about the I don't know how you say it, Winity,
What is that?
WinNTI hackers. So this Chinese hacking group, also known as APT-41 or Wicked Spider, um,
Nice.
basically went after a bunch of hospitality and like software development firms in the US, and then also I guess we're targeting like government manufacturing and some other stuff in the Asia area, like India and Taiwan and stuff.
Mm.
And the way that they were circumventing detection was they were breaking up a cobalt strike beacon into chunks of like 775 characters that were encoded, and these chunks would basically be echoed into a text file on the system, and then from there they would decode the text file and rewrite it as an executable, and then run the executable, and then that would be the DNS or the Cobalt Strike beacon.
Wow, that's
And
crafty.
yeah, pretty crafty. It's kind of like the Black Sunday hack. Remember we talked about the Direct TV stuff,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
where
yeah,
like
yeah.
chunks of data were being uploaded all these black boxes, and then on the final day everything got assembled together and wiped everybody out. That's kind of how this was, right? So chunks of data were being uploaded um, and then reassembled on the systems, and then ran the Cobalt Strike and gave them access. So pretty interesting. They've evolved a little bit. They upped the chunk size from 775 characters to 1024, just to reduce how much needs to be written. But um, pretty clever. It's not something that's unique. We've seen this kind of before, but still interesting nonetheless, right?
For
Just to
sure.
watch how attackers operate and how they can defeat our security controls. So
How did they
always
like
got to be on the toes.
who caught that? Like how did they cut it? Like catch it. Not cut it, catch it. Because
I think
like when I bake my tabletop scenarios, I always say, your data was exfiltrated very slowly over like a year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So this is kind of the same thing, but going backwards and
right. So
forwards.
so I don't think that they caught this actual technique. What they did catch was the bigger stuff that the group was doing, right? Like they were doing firmware, like implants, like updating and manipulating firmware, which caught the eye of the security team or the security researchers. And then once
Oh,
you
I
peel
see.
back the layers, they're like, how did this get implemented? And then they started, identifying like the tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Got it,
And
got it,
then
got it,
and
got
then
it.
when as they're peeling back the layers, found the chunks of data and stuff like that. So but it's been discovered over the years, or I guess this year, multiple times. So once by just Kaspersky, once by Mandiant, and then another by Cybereason. So um while I think they probably were under the radar for a little while, they're not anymore. So they're gonna have to evolve their techniques, which I'm sure they will. So but
Speaking of evolving techniques, and talking about Conti,
yeah,
the United States government has put out a bounty on Conti.
yeah,
Bounty on
that's
Conti.
crazy.
$10 million for Intel. Isn't that crazy?
Like
They're
what kind of intel? Because I mean, I could just make some shit up.
here it's saying like information leading to the identification
Oh,
and
I can't
location
do that.
of their primary victim right now is the hacker's name is called Target. And then there's another four members that they're looking for: Tramp, Dandis, Professor, and Rishav. Rishaev.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But this is from the U.S. Department's Rewards for Justice program.
Damn.
Up to 10 mil because they're going after them hard. I mean, Conti's been out creating havoc for a while now.
Oh yeah, they're huge. Yeah.
I wonder how much they've
This
like.
used to be the Ryuk group.
Yep, it used to be Ryuk, right? That was
Yeah.
my favorite, Ryuk.
Yeah.
I think I just like it because it sounds like Ryuk from Street Fighter. Remember?
Oh,
What was it? Ryu, and then there was
Ryu
Ken.
and Ken. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryu and Ken.
It is
Ryu.
based on an anime, Ryuk.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think it's like Death Letter or something like that. Death Note. Yeah.
But yeah, crazy times. Oh,
Gotta know, man. Gotta know pop culture. Come on.
I'm trying. I tried. There's just so much happening all the time.
That's true. But yeah,
It's,
I guess they're responsible for about 1,000 operations within the US. That's crazy.
I think this is the one that really set them off. Is they infiltrated 27 government institutions in Costa Rica and demanded $20 million ransom.
Jeez.
And then they got Costa Rica's new president declared country at war with this ransomware group. That's crazy. Cyber war. It's real.
Did you hear about Florida banning ransomware payments?
No.
So Florida, after following North Carolina, has I guess put in place, I don't know if it's a law or what, I assume it's a law, but basically banning private entities from paying, oh no, government agencies, sorry, from paying ransomware, which is interesting to see how that plays out.
I wonder, like, who's on the decision committee for that? Because there's so many factors when it comes to paying ransom. It's not just as black and white as it seems. Like, do we pay? Do we not pay? You know?
Well, not to offend our two listeners in North Carolina and Florida, but I don't exactly look to North Carolina and Florida for progressive legislature on technology
Setting trends.
or any other or any other progressive manner in that. While we're on the subject, so
Yeah, because it's like, okay, Florida, let's just put this into some theory, right? Let's say ransomware group, they attacked Florida's, I don't know, government and local government. They got records of everybody's incomes and they were about to blast it out into the world and air all your dirty laundry out. And you could avoid all of that for like a mere, I don't know, let's just make it fair, like 5 Bitcoin. Would you just say no? Or would you risk them airing out all your dirty laundry? And you could have avoided all that chaos for, like 100 grand nowadays.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
this is the state that had the water treatment facility hacked, right?
Yeah. Because the
So,
teams, I
I
remember
mean,
that.
yeah. So let's say it's just even worse. It's like the extreme case, right? Airport or like a water treatment facility or a gas pipeline has been hacked. Um, and the only way to get back access or whatever is to pay the ransom. What do you do? So, I don't know. Florida, you do you, as long as
Yeah.
you do you over there. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it plays out for you. And as long as you're not affecting me, I don't care. So.
Yeah, as long as we don't know how they'll affect us, but let's see.
But yeah,
Just don't affect us is what we're trying to say. Do
right. Like,
you?
let's see how this experiment works. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, well, we tried. So
Mm.
it's kind of like, this is not on security subject, but here in Portland, they passed legislation so where drugs are not legal, but they're not you'll basically get treatment. You won't get jail time for like heroin or meth or whatever. And they're trying to like copy what they do in Europe, but as we all know, Americans are different.
Yeah.
But let's see how it plays out. If it works, it works, and then but if it doesn't, then let's go back to not just treating them but incarcerating them. So, I
I
don't know what
mean,
the
I
solution is.
guess
That's not my
let's see.
field of
I'm a little bit more for that plan at least, get them help because I mean, in LA, right? You see them, people just talking to midair, poor
Yeah.
people. So at least let's get them help
Right.
because I don't know if they're going to be better in jail. That human.
Right. I mean, the jail thing wasn't working, or it doesn't appear to be working. So yeah, I'm all for like, let's try it, let's see what happens, and then keep
That
trying.
one I'm for
So,
Florida,
yeah.
but
I
you're
mean, if
banning
Florida
some
works, it's fine.
opinions.
Like, I just, for me, that's not the way I would go about it. But I also don't have an alternative solution. So, so it's like one of those things like you can't critique without having a better solution or having an idea. So,
I would say at the very minimum, implement some kind of decision tree, a few if statements, and then say ban or don't ban. You know,
yeah.
if we're about to get exposed and our water supplies be affected, like okay, pay it. Maybe, but I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't
And then
make
we're not
rules.
supposed to negotiate with terrorists. So maybe that's maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Well, hackers, I guess, beware. Don't hack Florida because they won't pay you. Apparently,
Yeah. Well, the government one, the
the
private
government won't.
private companies that you're still targeting will.
But I don't know. This is the last on my list. I sent this to our teams here. I've read this today. There's a new vulnerability for Palo Alto network devices. So be on the lookout for that. It's like a reflected denial of service attack, RDoS.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of OSs that are vulnerable. 8.1, 9.0, 9.1, 10, 10.1, 10.2. And I would patch your stuff.
Yeah.
Long story short, there.
If you have Palo, check it out. Make sure it works, and then patch. Yeah.
I mean, they gave it's on Palo Alto's network site. The CVE is
It's critical, isn't it? It's a
CVE.
10.
Yeah, no, it's a severity high. It's close to
Oh,
critical. It's 8.6, so we're
that's
inches
pretty
away.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's CVE 2022-0028. For those you want to look into it a little bit more. If you're running on Pan, check it out.
Also, update your iPhones, your iOS devices.
Oh, I did that when you put that blast out yesterday. I'm like, let me go look, and sure enough, it was ready to go. So
Yes,
I
sir.
def. What was that update for? I didn't really read into it much, but
There's two pretty big vulnerabilities for remote code execution, and then also manipulation of the WebKit, I think, that's built in. So
interesting.
yeah, I guess the one before this was even bigger, but it didn't get much media attention. But this one's getting media attention, so you can bet the attackers or the hackers out there either already have a POC or they're developing one. So
Well, now that we brought that up, I'm definitely gonna go and grab my parents' phones and update them because they're the
yeah,
most susceptible to clicking on anything.
that's it for
But I don't
me.
know what else. I think we covered all the fun stuff for this week.
Yeah, so far it's only
So far,
Tuesday.
so great. What's your quote? What's your tagline? Bad decisions make for great stories.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I have a lot of them.
Yeah, you do for sure. So give us another one. What's another one?
uh, that's probably inappropriate. Let me see. I said one yesterday. What was it? I can't remember.
You should start jotting them down. Let's have them handy. We'll give everybody a new tagline every episode.
Sounds good.
But I
I mean, they're
guess
not ones that I like created myself. They're ones I've stolen from people, but I say them all the time. So
hey, taglines are taglines. Take them, own them, spread them, share them. Share the knowledge. Share the wealth.
collect them all. That's from Pokemon.
Collect them all. Those
Or
are my pogs, man.
catch them all.
Catch them all. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
even say it right.
Catch them all. I'm so happy that Pokemon fad thing is it came and went just as fast as it came.
Not in this household.
Really?
Yeah, my kids are all about the cards.
No, but you remember the cell phone app one where
Oh,
everybody
the
was
Pokemon
walking
Go. Yeah,
around and
they do that
causing
too.
all kinds of chaos trying to find digital Pokemon on their phones.
Remember that was pretty funny because like there was like government facilities that had to put up signs like "Please do not trespass," like, or not even please, like no trespassing for Pokemon Go.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my god,
And then
that's
all the people,
great.
like, I remember going to like the park and just walking around and just seeing all these people like heads down on their phones, like walking in these like strange directions across the fields, all trying to do Pokemon Go. It was great.
I remember seeing a picture of I don't know who. There was like some dude that had a bicycle with like 20
Oh, I've
phones
seen that.
mounted to it,
That's ridiculous.
just biking around town all day looking for Pokemon. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Accident
People,
waiting to
is this
happen.
fake money or I don't know what's going on here, but I don't see the ROI in catching Pokemon.
I used to work at an athletic company and we would do our meetings around like a track or like on a trail.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, it was great. It was nice to get out and like talk while you're walking on the trail. But like when that trend was happening, everyone that I was doing the meetings with would be doing Pokemon Go while we're like walking on the trail. We're trying to talk like work and they're trying to capture like, Charizard.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny. I watched Pokemon, as a kid, kind of like here and there, but am I happy I never got into this catch of Pokemon on your phone fad?
Yeah. It was a good fad. I mean, you got people out moving, so that was good. Can't
That's
complain about
true. It
that.
definitely got people out of the house. Was that pre-COVID?
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
2015, 2016. It's
Dang,
still
has it
around. My
been
kids
that
play it.
long? That's crazy. Time flies, man.
Well, yeah, and we lost 2 years thanks to COVID, so
Which I feel like everybody should get those 2 years back. Whoever's out there that controls age system going around, just do -2 across the board. I feel that's
right,
fair,
right.
right?
I agree.
Yeah,
I'll take 2 extra years on my life.
yeah, why not? Give them back, give it back. But right on. All right, I guess should we go back to doing our actual investigative work?
Yeah, I think so.
It's about that time. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about some more stuff for our one or two listeners who are still there. Thanks for listening in. Like, subscribe, tune in for more Matt and Cash conversations about the hacker world and all the fun stuff that's happening. Any final thoughts for this episode, Mr. Mosley?
I do have one announcement. So we are going to get a sticker request form up on the website soon. Got to get the
Oh,
splash page
nice.
up on the website, but once that's all ready to go, then you can request your stickers. If you didn't get one at Black Hat and DEF CON, we passed out a lot
Let,
of stickers.
let's see. Let's see who's listening and comes up with a clever hack to request million stickers from us.
I'll limit the I'll limit the requests. All right,
Imagine.
that's it for me.
That's funny. All right. Well, party on, everybody. Thanks for listening in. Come get some stickers. Our stickers were really, really cool. Actually, they just dissolved within seconds at DEF CON. We were passing them out. So come get some. We have plenty. They're awesome. Stick them, tag them, like, subscribe. And I guess we'll talk to you next time.